Now, if you know me, you know I love air frying. So I'm going to be using my Easy Fry Deluxe to make the best crackling. It works a treat, and it's because of its incredible technology. So in the basket, you'll see that there's another non-stick tray, and that's where we're going to rest our pork. It also means that all the fat's going to run off it and just be in the base of this. So we're just going to get that perfect meat. It's not going to be sitting in the oil. This is also a 4.2 litre capacity air fryer, which means you can cook for a whole family. Now, for the pork, this has been air drying in the fridge overnight. By doing that, well, you get dry skin because moisture is the enemy of crispy crackling. I've also scored it and I've brought it to room temperature. You never want to be putting a large piece of meat just like this into the oven or an air fryer. If it's too cold, it's going to take a long time to cook and not cook evenly. So, some oil, so just vegetable oil. I'll brush that over the top and I'll turn it over and onto the other side. And you really don't need much oil at all, and that's why I'm using a brush, just a small amount to get a gorgeous colour. And salt, so lots of salt on the flesh. And we'll turn that over. And we need a good amount of salt on the skin because that is also going to help us get a gorgeous crackling. Just rub that in and into our basket. So that just fits perfectly in there. Perfect size. We'll place the basket in, and on this digital panel you'll see lots of different applications, but I'm going to do this manually, so 180 degrees, and we'll start with 30 minutes. I always like to check it because each piece of pork is different, so 30 minutes, set the timer, and start. And that's it. We'll just let the Easy Fry Deluxe do its thing. In the meantime, let's make a gorgeous dipping sauce. So in a bowl, I'll add some soy. Now I'm using some dark soy. I like the sweetness and its thick richness. So in that goes. A splash of sesame oil. Some black vinegar. I love the smokiness of it. So we'll add a generous amount of that. Some gochujang, which is a spicy fermented chili paste. It's not that spicy though, so I love it because it's kind of sweet and savoury and it gives it a real depth of flavour. So we'll add about a teaspoon of that. Some Sichuan pepper, pinch of Sichuan pepper that I've toasted and I've crushed. Some good old sesame seeds. Some garlic. I'll just use a fine grater to mince that straight into the bowl. And spring onions. I like to use the white and the dark part. We'll start with the lighter part, finely chop them just into thin rounds. Don't want it to be too chunky because it's part of the dipping sauce. It's not a garnish. And the darker parts. So even thinner for the darker parts. That's enough. We'll scrape them up and pop them in the sauce. Done. Give that a quick whisk. And we'll just pop that sauce to the side. It can just sit there. In actual fact, it's going to taste better as all those ingredients mingle. Wait for the pork and we'll serve it up. Can't wait for you to see the results of this. Okay, that's been cooking for 30 minutes. Let's have a look. Oh, how good does that look? See how blistered it is? And this is the sound we're after. So crispy, but it is quite thick, so I am going to cook it a little longer. We'll give it about 20 to 25 minutes until it's even more golden brown and the meat is cooked through. Pork belly has come out of the Easy Fry Deluxe, and just like any large piece of meat, just allow it to rest just so the juices can relax. This crackling is so good. You can see how effective the air fryer is. Can't wait to try this. Before I slice the pork, I'll just place our delicious sauce into a little dipping bowl. I like to put this on the side so everyone can take a piece of pork, maybe serve it with some rice, or just dip the meat into the sauce. And we'll pop that on a plate. Now to slice, I'm going to cut straight down the center, just where that score is. Turn it around. Oh, look at that. See how juicy that pork is, but it's still holding its shape. That's what I'm after. And then I'm just going to cut this into small medallions. And it's a good idea if you want to sort of keep that crackling on top of this, just flip over a piece of pork and then you've got a little bit more stability just to slice through that soft meat and then put the pressure on. Oh, I love crackling. And a few from the other thinner side. And just keep them together. And we pop them onto the plate. Sort of want to just cluster them like so. On with the second pile and just let them fall down just like that. Fantastic. That is all it needs. The simplicity of this and really showcasing that crackling is what I'm after. I need to have a taste of this. Little pork, lots of crackling, that dipping sauce. There's something about that fatty pork, really perfectly cooked crackling, and that sauce that has so many different layers, it just cuts through the fat. This is awesome. If you haven't tried air frying pork belly, give it a go. You're going to love it as much as I do. One more piece, hey?